Okay, welcome. So today I want to talk about why do the same people keep triggering me? Why is it that certain relationships, certain people, maybe certain events keep triggering me? And I'm going to talk about a few of the different ways that this happens, why this happens, and also a few of the tools that we can start to use. So, this is quite a powerful topic, a very powerful topic. And in 3 weeks' time, as part of Compassionate Leaders Global, I'm going to be running with Chris and Martin a webinar, a workshop around this subject, which is why do the same people keep triggering me? Now, this is really important, in our personal lives, it's important in our family lives, it's also important in our work lives, and especially if we're in leadership. And it's interesting, this topic recently has come up within our company, in this idea of people not feeling like they're leaders. And Mike Manaza, the Navy Admiral, he says if you're a parent, you're a leader. If you're, we have to lead ourselves. And I see that, especially in Britain, we've abdicated our responsibilities. No, if you're at the top, you're the leader. It's like, no, we're all leaders. And I think this aspect of people triggering us is an important part of leadership. So, why is this? So often there might be somebody who triggers us, and it's the same person or it's the same thing that they do, and we just have this almost somatic response. But because a lot of us are disconnected from our bodies, it might go up into the head. It might be like an emotional response or a fear response. And the reason being, and the first principle here comes from Jung, and Jung says the psychological rule says that when an inner situation is not made conscious, it happens outside as fate. And the quote goes on, that is to say, when the individual remains undivided, does not become conscious of his inner opposite, the world must perforce act out this conflict and be torn into opposing halves. What does that mean? So what that means is that there's something within us, some shadow aspect, some aspect that we can't see, that we're projecting out onto the world. We're calling it fate. It's them. It's outside of us. And it's not to blame or to shame, but it's to notice, this person is triggering something in me. Now, there are different ways of looking at this, and one of the ways is this is a practice I've done a lot over the years, especially if it's with someone you can't necessarily have the conversation with. Someone's triggering me. What is it about them that's really triggering me? Write it down. They're controlling, or they're very angry, or it's this, it's that. They interrupt me all the time. And so write those things down. And do it kind of stream of consciousness, like, oh yeah, what's really annoying me? And the more energy there is there, put it down. Then what Jung is saying is like, what's that within myself? So the things that are triggering you in someone else are things that you are doing yourself, but we have projected it outside. And it's not easy to hear, and some people say, but I'm not angry. No, you might not be angry in the same way. You might not be externally angry, but you're angry to yourself. And I often see this in my work with ex-boarders or people in leadership positions, is they might not be angry outside, but they're angry at themselves. Their inner critic is brutal, just beating themselves up. And so part of the work is to start to be kind to ourselves. To go, okay, I'm actually very angry. What can I do with anger? So Thich Nhat Hanh's practice of just breathing in and out, walking back and forth. Breathing in, anger has arisen in me. Breathing out, I'm taking good care of this anger. And just allow the body somatically to process, okay, yeah, this is what's happening. So that's the first thing, is just, see that there is something within them. It might not be the same thing. So if it's controlling, I might not be controlling of other people, but I've often noticed that, like in relationship with Michelle, I wasn't necessarily controlling with other people, but I could be controlling with her, especially if I was stressed. I'd be like, right, you've got to do this, got to do this. And it was my nervous system was dysregulated. And often when I was going away on holiday, or we were going away, or I was going away on a trip, the day before I would get quite nervous, and Michelle would just say, please go. Or she'd be like, oh, you're stressed. I'm like, oh yeah, I am. And she knew that. And that's very much a boarding school thing. The day before a trip, often, it's like returning to school. So that's really the first thing, is like to see that. And, it's to almost own. Second thing is really owning those projections, taking your power back. Because often when we put that onto someone else, well, it's them. I'm powerless, I'm victim. And actually when we become sovereign, when we go, that's within me, suddenly it's like we're taking that projection backwards. And this is a practice I do with my clients. Sometimes when we first begin, I always do like a 5-minute little meditation. And one of them is just imagining these hose pipes of attention that we're giving all of our water, our energy out to the world or people. And we just start reeling them back in. And it's the same with our projections, taking our projections and our energy back, because it's draining. And it's just like, and the image I do is just fill the body up with that energy. Draw your projections back. And it is an addiction sometimes, especially for us who've grown up in unsafe environments. It's like our survival mechanism was really to be hypervigilant, checking out. So you might notice you go into that kind of outer critic that Pete Walker talks about. You're kind of always kind of criticizing the other person in your head. Draw that back in. See that that's your energy. And you're going to have to keep catching yourself. I had that a bit this morning. My outer critic was, rah, 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 rah. And it's like, no, just draw it back in. And a practice I love, the havening, just stroking. And you can just imagine walking along beautiful seafront, sand, warm sun, and just count as you stroke. That just calms the nervous system down. It stops that projection outwards. Come back into the body. I'm okay. I'm okay. So, yeah, and I think one of the things I noticed was when I started to do a lot of inner work was in my 20s, when I was in the monastery and living in a community. There's lots of projection. But I didn't realize I was projecting. It was like, he's angry. He's controlling. Generally I was really struggling with the angry people. And I realized, it's nothing to do with them. It's my anger. I was self-harming, so I wasn't externally angry at people, but I was being really angry at myself. But I couldn't see that. I was like, it's them. And so when I started to bring that energy back, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm very angry. What type of angry person would hurt themselves, use knives? It's like, wow, very angry. So just drawing that energy back. And that might be through breath, might be through havening or the tapping. This is the EFT that I use a lot. So finding some way of owning that and taking your sovereignty back. And the final aspect for me is sometimes why people keep triggering us is that maybe there is a boundary that they keep crossing. And it's like, do I just need to say no? this is the boundary. Not in an angry way and not in a passive way that just builds up until I explode. It's like, no, that doesn't work for me. And I was saying to a client yesterday, there's two aspects of this. One is the boundary, no. And you can practice somatically, putting your hands out in front. This is Diane Pulhela. You can put your hands out, reaching out, that's a yes, or a no. And this is a really great practice for ex-boarders. Just learning boundaries, sovereignty, no. And that's the first aspect, is just the no. The second one is just in a calm way to hold that, not to people please or go, oh, I'm so sorry, I put a boundary down, or get angry. It's just like, no, that's the boundary. And I think that's another aspect of why the same people keep triggering us, is maybe I've just not been clear with my boundaries. And I just need to go, no. And as ex-boarders, that's a very difficult thing for us to do. Sometimes when I put a boundary down, my body's going, oh, this is scary. They're going to hate me. And it's like, maybe, but it's okay. It's like to be in that sovereignty. So those are just some ideas. Again, 30th of July, 6:30 till 7:45. I will be facilitating a workshop, and you're most welcome to come. It's free. And then also at the end of this month, we have the Compassionate Leaders Global, the Pathway, which is a 3-month program which starts in September. It's coming to an end, as in registration ends at the end of this month. So if you are interested, you are maybe wanting to step more into leadership, or maybe you are already in leadership and you want to learn a new heart-centered way of leading, please get in touch with us. We do have some bursary places, and I'll put a link again into the description about that. And yeah, just see this. This is me taking my sovereignty, feeling the trigger within myself. And I think the final aspect, which I would add in, is just when you feel that trigger, where is that in my body? Maybe it's fear in my belly. Maybe it's tightness in my throat. Maybe it's headache. Feel it. Own it in your body. And you can hear the jackdaws wanting some food. Just notice that in your body. Breathe. And again, what you're doing is you're pulling those hose pipes of attention from outside. You're bringing that energy in. You're taking your sovereignty back again. So thank you so much. Now, I am on holiday on retreat next week. I might do a video, but I might just do a post. So if you don't hear from me next week, that's why I'm having a retreat. So thank you so much. And please, if this resonates, you're like, oh yeah, that person triggers me. That person triggers me. Or anything else, any questions. It's always great to have your feedback and your questions.